Have you ever felt perplexed watching someone seemingly unfit rise to a position of power? A figure who, in your eyes, demonstrates a clear lack of competence, experience, or even integrity. That feeling of unease, that pang of disbelief, is something many of us have experienced. It's not just frustrating, it's in fact disturbing. Because deep down, it questions the very structure upon which we build our expectations about the world and leadership. Perhaps you've witnessed this in your workplace, seeing a less talented colleague receive a promotion, while others more qualified are overlooked. Or maybe it was in the political sphere, observing a candidate with simplistic proposals and empty rhetoric win popular support, surpassing more thoughtful and experienced alternatives. In both cases, the question persists: how does this happen? How do we allow incompetent people to come to power? This isn't about envy or resentment. It's about a genuine concern for the consequences of this dynamic. When incompetent leaders are in charge, bad decisions are made, resources are wasted, and trust in institutions is eroded. The implications can be felt at all levels, from the micro, affecting team morale and productivity, to the macro, impacting the stability and progress of a nation. This is not just an exercise in futility, it's an investigation into human psychology, the flaws in our decision-making processes, and the strategies that unscrupulous individuals use to manipulate public perception. Let's delve into the depths of our own vulnerability, exploring how blind trust, the need for quick solutions, and the attraction to charismatic personalities can lead us to make choices that, in retrospect, seem inexplicable. Let's deconstruct the idea that success is always the result of merit and competence. Let's question the dominant narratives and examine the dark forces that shape our perception of reality. After all, to build a more just and resilient society, we must first understand how and why we so often allow incompetence to thrive. This is the first step towards more authentic leadership in a more promising future. Prepare to question your own beliefs and to challenge the status quo. The journey is just beginning. However, to understand this complex dynamic, we need to go beyond simply blaming incompetent individuals. It's crucial to recognize that the rise of these figures rarely occurs in a vacuum. There is generally a favorable ecosystem that allows and even encourages this progression. This ecosystem is composed of a series of interconnected factors, ranging from organizational culture to the characteristics of society itself. One of the most important elements of this ecosystem is the culture of fear. In environments where criticism is suppressed and dissent is punished, incompetence can flourish. After all, who would dare question the decisions of a leader, no matter how absurd, if the price to pay is ostracism or job loss? The culture of fear creates a deafening silence, where incompetence is camouflaged under the guise of authority. Furthermore, our obsession with immediate results also contributes to this problem. In an increasingly fast-paced world, we are constantly pressured to deliver quick results, even if it means compromising quality and sustainability. Incompetent leaders are often masters at creating the illusion of progress, promising quick and easy solutions that in reality are just stopgaps. This relentless pursuit of immediate results prevents us from critically evaluating the performance of leaders and identifying the signs of incompetence. Another relevant factor is our tendency to confuse charisma with competence. Charismatic people, with their ability to inspire and motivate, are often seen as natural leaders, even if they don't possess the technical skills or knowledge necessary to make strategic decisions. This confusion between charisma and competence can lead to the election of leaders who are great speakers, but terrible managers. Add to this the influence of social media and celebrity culture. In a world where image is everything, the ability to self-promote and build a strong personal brand can be more important than actual competence. Incompetent leaders are often experts in self-promotion, using social media to create an image of success and competence that doesn't correspond to reality. Now consider how this manifests when you are faced with a complex project at work. The pressure to deliver quickly can lead to poorly thought-out decisions and the delegation of tasks to unprepared people, simply because they are available. Or imagine the choice of a community leader. The one who speaks loudest and with more passion may not be the most qualified to represent the interests of the community. We must therefore be attentive to these factors and develop a critical eye to assess the competence of the leaders we choose. In contrast, it's essential to recognize that incompetence, by itself, is not enough to guarantee the rise to power. There is frequently a deliberate strategy behind this progression, a conscious manipulation of public perception, and an exploitation of our psychological vulnerabilities. This strategy is often based on a deep understanding of human nature and a remarkable ability to influence the behavior of others. One of the pillars of this strategy is the creation of a simplistic and attractive narrative. Incompetent leaders often offer easy solutions to complex problems, promising to solve all our ills with a single magic measure. This simplistic narrative, although unrealistic, can be extremely persuasive, especially in times of uncertainty and anxiety. It offers us a sense of hope and control, even if illusory. In addition, these leaders are masters in the art of diverting attention from their own defects and mistakes. They use a variety of manipulative tactics, such as projection, attributing their own defects to others, victimization, presenting themselves as victims of injustice, and scapegoating, blaming others for their own mistakes. These tactics, although dishonest, can be effective in diverting public attention and keeping their image intact. Similarly, the exploitation of social polarizations is a powerful tool in the hands of incompetent leaders. By inflaming existing divisions in society, they manage to create a sense of us against them, where any criticism of their leadership is seen as an attack on the group. This strategy, although divisive, can be effective in mobilizing the support of their followers and silencing their opponents. Notwithstanding, the promise of rewards and favors also plays an important role in the rise of incompetent leaders. By offering positions, benefits, and other advantages in exchange for loyalty, they manage to build a solid support base composed of people who are more interested in their own interests than in the common good. This exchange of favors, although corrupt, can be difficult to detect and combat. Now think about how this applies when a politician promises to drastically reduce taxes without explaining how they will compensate for the loss of revenue. Or consider how a business leader blames the competition for their own management errors. We must, therefore, be aware of these manipulation strategies and develop the ability to critically evaluate the promises and speeches of the leaders around us. Constant vigilance and critical thinking are our best defenses against the rise of incompetence to power. In this sense, it becomes imperative that we develop internal and external tools to mitigate the harmful influence of incompetent figures in power. It's not enough to just identify the problem. It's essential to equip ourselves with practical and effective strategies to confront this reality. These tools range from enhancing our critical thinking to promoting a culture of transparency and accountability. First and foremost, the development of critical thinking is fundamental. We need to cultivate the ability to question dominant narratives, to analyze information with skepticism, and to identify biases and logical fallacies present in the speeches of leaders. This implies improving our skills in reading and interpreting texts, analyzing data, and evaluating evidence. A critical mind is a powerful shield against manipulation and misinformation. On the other hand, the promotion of transparency and accountability is crucial to prevent incompetence from hiding in the shadows. We need to demand that leaders are held accountable for their actions and decisions, that they disclose relevant information, and that they are transparent in their decision-making processes. This implies strengthening social control mechanisms, such as a free press, civil society organizations, and oversight bodies. Transparency is the antidote to corruption and incompetence. Additionally, strengthening democratic institutions is essential to ensure that power is exercised responsibly and for the benefit of all. We need to defend the independence of the judiciary, freedom of expression, and the right to political participation. Strong democratic institutions are an important brake against the abuse of power and the rise of authoritarian leaders. Equally important is the promotion of a culture of meritocracy, where talent and effort are rewarded and incompetence is punished. We need to create fair and transparent evaluation systems that allow us to identify and promote the individuals most qualified for leadership positions. This implies combating nepotism, clientelism, and other forms of favoritism. Meritocracy is a powerful incentive for excellence and competence. Now imagine how this applies in your professional life. Seek data and information before accepting a new strategy proposed by a leader. Question the assumptions and expected results. Or consider how you can promote transparency in your neighborhood, participating in community meetings, and demanding that elected representatives account for their actions. Small actions, when added together, can make a big difference in the fight against incompetence in power. As we intertwine the threads of this tapestry that we have been weaving, an undeniable pattern emerges. The rise of incompetence is not an isolated phenomenon, but a symptom of a systemic dysfunction. It's not just about pointing the finger at specific individuals, but about recognizing the flaws in our own evaluation processes, in our power structures, and in our culture. Just like a river that forks into multiple channels, incompetence finds various ways to infiltrate and establish itself. Faced with these findings, the horizon unfolds, revealing a path that requires us to take an active and vigilant stance. We cannot be content with being mere spectators of the rise of incompetence. We must become agents of change, capable of questioning, challenging, and transforming the structures that allow this phenomenon to persist. Like attentive gardeners, we must remove the weeds that suffocate the growth of competence and integrity. Considering the journey we have taken so far, the need for a profound transformation becomes even more evident. It's not enough to simply implement palliative measures or superficial solutions. We need to fundamentally rethink the way we select and evaluate leaders, the way we exercise power, and the way we relate to each other. It's as if we were building a new building where competence, integrity, and transparency are the foundations that support the entire structure. Reflecting on this journey so far, it becomes clear that the solution to this problem does not lie in a single action or a single person. It's a collective effort that requires the participation of everyone. Each of us has a role to play, whether in our workplace, in our community, or in our personal life. It's like an orchestra, where each instrument contributes its melody to create a harmonious symphony. As we approach the final reflection, we glimpse the possibility of a future where competence is valued, integrity is rewarded, and incompetence is combated. A future where leaders are chosen for their ability to serve and inspire, and not for their ability to manipulate and deceive. A future where transparency is the norm and not the exception. A future where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential, regardless of their origin or social position. The seed of change has already been planted. Now it is up to us to cultivate it and water it so that it can flourish and bear fruit. Therefore, we come to the end of this exploration, not with definitive and simplistic answers, but with a deeper understanding of the complexities that permeate the rise of incompetence to power. The journey has revealed to us that this is not an isolated problem, but a reflection of our own frailties, our fears, and our aspirations. The key to transforming this reality lies in cultivating a critical awareness, in questioning dominant narratives, and in defending transparency and accountability. But above all, it lies in recognizing that each of us has a role to play in building a future where competence is valued and integrity is rewarded. True practice begins now, the moment we rise and decide to act. It's not about grand heroic gestures, but rather small, everyday actions that, when added together, can make a big difference. It's about questioning the decisions of our leaders, demanding transparency in institutions, and promoting a culture of meritocracy in all aspects of our lives. Remember, incompetence thrives in silence and complacency. Our voice, however small it may seem, is a powerful weapon against injustice and inefficiency. Don't be afraid to express your opinion, to challenge the status quo, and to defend your values. Your courage can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can transform society. May this reflection serve as a constant reminder of our responsibility as citizens and as human beings. May it inspire us to be more critical, more vigilant, and more engaged in building a fairer, more prosperous, and more humane world. And may the pursuit of competence and integrity be our compass, guiding us towards a future where the rise to power is synonymous with service and excellence. True change begins within us. So be it.